So today's topic will be the esophagus. Okay. Okay, fine. So the esophagus, that is actually a fibromuscular tube. Okay. It is a fibromuscular tube. Okay. And its length is pH near about 25 cm. Okay. And what is the use of this one? It is for the transport of your food. No, it helps in transport of food. Okay. So that means it extends from pharynx to stomach. Okay. So actually, if you'll see the exact location, okay, it actually starts at cricoid cartilage. Okay, starts at cricoid cartilage. No, or you can say at the level of at the level of C6 vertebra. Okay, this is important, right? So it starts at the cricoid cartilage or at the level of C6, and it ends uh, uh, at the cardiac orifice of what is that? Stomach. No, stomach at which level? At the level of T11. Okay, so it starts at the cricoid cartilage, level of C6, ends at the cardiac orifice of stomach at the level of T11. Okay, this is the landmark you have to remember, right? So in this video, we'll just discuss about the anatomy of the esophagus. What are the structures of this esophagus? Okay, and what are the arterial supply, venous drainage, and the clinical correlation. Okay, so here we'll see. Uh, First, we'll see the structures. No, or you can no. Before that, we should see the course of the esophagus. Okay, so this esophagus, as I have already told you, it begins at the neck region. No, at the level of C6, and here it continues superiorly with the laryngeal part of pharynx. Okay, that means at the laryngopharynx. Okay, then it descends downward into the superior mediastinum, superior mediastinum. Okay, superior mediastinum of what? Thorax, no? So then this esophagus that will descend downward, okay, like this, okay, and it will be position between anteriorly you will find the trachea. Okay, here you will find the trachea, and posteriorly you will find the vertebral body. Okay, posteriorly we will find the vertebral body, and anteriorly we will find the trachea. Right. So this is your vertebra body, and anteriorly you will find the trachea, and in between that you will find the esophagus. Okay, that means the esophagus that will be positioned in between the posteriorly the vertebral body and anteriorly what is that, the trachea. Okay, so this is actually from T1 level to T4 level, right? This part of the esophagus, right? Then this esophagus that will incline towards left. Okay, that will incline towards the left side. Then it will enter into the abdomen. Okay, through the hiatus. Okay, so here you will find the, what is this? This is your diaphragm. Okay, so here you can see the right dome of the diaphragm and the left dome of the diaphragm, right? So at the level of T10 vertebra, okay, the esophagus that will just what is that, cross the diaphragm through the, what is that, esophageal hiatus. Esophageal hiatus. Okay, then it descends up to, what is that, your T11. Okay, up to T11 vertebral body, and there you will find the, what is that, the fundus part and the cardiac part of the stomach, right? So here you will find the cardiac part of the stomach. So this esophagus that will be connected with the cardiac part of the stomach, right? Or cardiac, it meets at the cardiac orifice of the stomach, right? So this abdominal portion of the esophagus, it is near about 1.25 cm. Okay. The length of the abdominal part is near about 1.25 cm. Okay. So it terminates at the cardiac orifice of the stomach at the level of your T11, and this length will be 1.25 cm approximately, right? So this is the course. Okay, again I will say, what is that? The esophagus that begins in the neck region at the level of your, what is that, C6 vertebrae, right? C6 vertebrae, right? Then it continues superiorly up to the laryngopharynx. Okay, because what will see? You'll see the esophagus like this. Okay, so this end it ascends up to the laryngopharynx. Okay, but here exactly this is the position. Okay, so this is your C6 level, right? Then it descends downward. Okay, so at the level of your T1 you'll find the trachea. Okay, the C-shaped trachea. Okay, here you'll find the trachea, and here you'll find the all the vertebral body. Okay, vertebral body. So T1, T2, T3, T4. Okay, then it just goes towards the left side. Okay, inclines slightly towards the left side. At the esophageal hiatus, it enters no at the level of T10, it enters into the abdomen. Okay, and opens to cardiac orifice of the stomach at the level of T11. Okay, and here the abdominal part, it is near about 1.25 cm. Okay, so this is the course of your esophagus. Any doubt?
No, sir.
Good.
Sir, T4 से समझ में नहीं आया. Can you please repeat?
T4 relation. So the trachea, it ends at the level of T4. Okay, then what will happen? This trachea, then it diverts into 2. No. Okay, so here the trachea ends at the level of T4. Okay, then from T5 onwards you will not find the trachea. Okay, so here this esophagus, that will be inclined towards the left side because it has to reach at the cardiac orifice of the stomach, right? That's why it will cross the dome of the diaphragm, okay, at the level of T10. Then it will connect with the cardiac orifice. Okay, this is your cardiac orifice of the stomach at the level of your T11. Okay, here the esophagus ends and the stomach starts. Clear? Silka?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then we'll see what are the structures that makes the esophagus. Okay, structures make the esophagus. Okay, so here if you'll see the esophagus, right, here you can see, if you draw the esophagus, it is just going like this. Okay, it is your in this way, right? Then you'll find the, what is that, your stomach. Then you'll find a duodenum or whatever it is, right? So if you'll take a section of this esophagus, okay, then how it looks like in histologically, what will see? We'll find the lumen, right? Okay, we'll find the lumen. So here actually you'll find at this lumen, you'll find the mucosal layer, right? This is your mucosal layer. Then after the mucosal layer, what you'll find? You'll find the submucosal layer. Okay, and after the submucosal layer, you'll find the muscle layer. Okay, you will find the muscle layer. Right. So what are these? These are the, this is your muscle layer. This is your submucosal layer. And this is your mucosal layer. Okay, and most outer side part, what you'll find? Sorry, most outer part you'll find the adventitial layer. Okay, you'll find the adventitial layer. Okay, not the serosal layer. Serosal layer you will find only near the cardiac orifice of the esophagus. Okay, a small part of the esophagus that will be covered by the peritoneum. Okay, that's why that part only you will find the, what is that, serosa layer. But rest of the esophagus, that is actually, what is that? It is the adventitia layer, right? Okay. Then what we have seen now, the esophagus that actually have the uh, all the structures that is similar to your, what is that, alimentary tract. Okay, it is similar to alimentary tract, right? So it has most outer part, it is the adventitia. Okay, so this adventitia layer, it is the outer layer. Okay, outer layer made up of your connective tissue. No, so here what I have told you, now the most distal part, okay, or you can say this distal part is your, what is that, intraperitoneal part, okay, or you can say the intraperitoneal portion of the esophagus that has a outer covering, okay. So this covering is your serosa layer, not the adventitia layer, just serosa layer, okay, only at the terminal part of the esophagus, okay. So outer layer, it is the connective tissue, is known as your adventitia, but in some part, or the end part of the, or the cardiac part of the esophagus, there you will find it is covered by the peritoneum, so there you will find the serosa layer. Fine. Then after this adventitia layer, okay, then you will find the muscular layer. No, so here peculiarity is there in muscular layer, right? What is that? So here the external layer of the esophagus, that is the longitudinal muscles. Okay, it is the external layer. Okay, then uh, you'll find the external, or and you'll find the internal layer or inner layer. Okay, you'll find the inner layer and the external layer, right? So this external layer, that is actually made up of your longitudinal muscles. Longitudinal muscles. Okay, and inner layer, that is made up of your circular muscles. Okay, it is opposite in your urinary system. No, in urinary system, inner you will find the, what is that, longitudinal muscles, and outer you will find the circular muscles. Okay, so here this external layer, no, this one, this external layer, that is actually it has actually three different types of muscle you will find. Okay, what is that? In superior part here, no, so you just divide this esophagus into three parts: first, second, and third part. Okay, or you can say the superior 1/3 part, that is actually voluntary and striated muscles. The voluntary muscles, or you can say striated muscles. Okay, voluntary muscles means you have the control to constrict or relax the esophagus. Okay, but the lower part of the esophagus, this part, this is completely smooth muscles. Okay, smooth muscles, right? So, or you can say it is the involuntary muscles, right? But the middle third, this part, okay, here you will find the mix. Okay, that means it has the both voluntary plus involuntary. Okay, That means it is made up of your skeletal muscles, okay, plus what is that? Your smooth muscles, right? So this is the peculiarity. Okay. Again, I am repeating the muscular layer. It is the external layer. Okay. The muscular layer has external layer and the internal layer or inner layer. Okay. External layer has the longitudinal muscle group. Internal has the circular muscle group. Okay. And this again, this external layer, it has three different types of muscles you'll find in esophagus. So divide into thirds. Okay. So upper third, that is made up of your voluntary muscles. Okay. Means they are the which muscle? The skeletal muscle. Okay. And the lower one, that is also made up of your purely smooth muscles. Okay. And here you'll find the intermediate part, that is actually it has the voluntary and the involuntary muscles. Okay. But the circular muscles, the inner side muscles, they all are same whole over the esophagus. Okay. So this is the muscle layer. Okay. Then you'll find the
सर
hmm?
सर वॉल्यूंटरी मसल कौन से पार्ट तक रहता है?
voluntary muscles upper one third. Okay. If it is 25 cm long, you divide into 3. Okay. Means upper 8 cm, that will be the skeletal muscles. Lower 8 cm will be the smooth muscles, and in between whatever 8 cm will be there, that will be your mixed muscle. Okay.
Yes, sir.
It has no limit, that you cannot say it is only from the oropharyngeal to T6 or T4, like that you cannot say. Okay, it depends upon the length of the esophagus. Okay. Then we have the submucosal layer, right? So the submucosal layer, that is what you'll find over here. Here you'll find the submucosal layer. No, so the submucosal layer, here you'll find the connective tissue, the esophageal gland, no, the end arteries, the nerves, okay, and the nerve and vessels. Okay, nothing more than that, right? Then main is the inner. Okay, what is that? This is the main thing. What is that? Lumen, right? So this lumen, that is actually the mucosa, right? Lumen means it is the mucosal layer, right? Here will find the mucosa. Okay, so what we'll find in mucosa? Here you'll find that this whole over the epithelium. Okay, here you'll find the epithelial tissue. Okay, so these epitheliums, they are actually squamous epithelium. Okay, they are non-keratinized, stratified multilayer. Okay, stratified squamous epithelium. Okay, so here this upper one third part, okay, that is made up of the stratified squamous epithelium. Okay, and this middle part, okay, that here also you will find the stratified squamous epithelium, but you will see progressively changes. Okay, this squamous epithelium that will become progressively columnar epithelium. Okay, progressively that will become columnar epithelium when the what is that esophagus goes down. Okay, because it has to adjust with the columnar epithelium of the stomach and the alimentary system, right? So what will say, the non-keratinized stratified stratified squamous epithelium is there for the esophagus, but it will become columnar. It becomes columnar. CO, what is the spelling? I forgot. Columnar. LU, right? Columnar. Okay. Columnar epithelium. Okay. Uh, near the stomach. Clear, all of you? Initially it is nothing but the stratified squamous epithelium. Okay, but progressively it becomes columnar. Okay, and it becomes fully columnar near the cardiac orifice, right? So here what will happen? Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Right. So here what will happen? The food particle that will be transported through this esophagus, okay, by a movement is known as a peristalsis movement. What is that? Peristalsis movement, right? Like this, wavy movement. Okay. So what is this? This is the rhythmic contraction of your esophagus. ठीक है. So we got the mucosal area that is non-keratinized. Okay. Whiteboard visible, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it is non-keratinized squamous epithelium, but what is that? It changes itself into columnar epithelium near the cardiac part of the stomach, right? So here what is this? This is whatever the food that we will take through the mouth, that will go to the esophagus, and at the esophagus the peristaltic movement will be there. Okay, that means that is the rhythmic movement. Okay, so through this rhythmic movement the food ball that will go towards the stomach, right? So if you'll find that sometimes what will happen, these smooth muscles and the skeletal muscles, they will become hardened. Okay, become harden or become spasm, right? Whatever it is, because this hardening of the esophagus, that will mainly due to the old age. Okay, or the geriatric problem or any pathological conditions that will associated with the muscle hardening. Okay, at that time what will happen, the hardening of these muscular layers that can interfere the what is that, the peristaltic movement. Okay, so that it will cause difficulty in swallowing, that is known as your dysphagia. Okay, so what is dysphagia? When the what is that, the muscular layers of the esophagus that will become hardened. So this hardening of this muscular layer, that will cause or that will interfere with the peristalsis movement, which will cause difficulty in swallowing, and that condition is known as your dysphagia, right? Now we will have if this is your esophagus, right, then we will have some sphincters inside the esophagus. right? What are that? We will find two sphincters, okay, at the esophagus. Okay, one is known as your upper sphincter, another is your lower sphincter. Upper and one is your lower sphincter, right? Which sphincter? Esophageal sphincter. Okay, esophageal sphincter, right? So why these sphincters are there? These sphincters actually they prevents what is that? Entry of air and the the reflux from the stomach to esophagus, right? Reflux of gastric contents. Okay. So at the upper side you'll find a sphincter. Okay. At the lower side you'll find a sphincter. So this is upper esophageal sphincter. This is your lower esophageal sphincter. Okay. And this upper esophageal sphincter that actually prevents the air. Okay. And the lower esophageal sphincter that prevents the gastric contents reverse back to the esophagus. Clear all of you?
Yes, sir.
So the upper esophageal sphincter, okay, this is actually anatomical structure. Okay, anatomical structure. But here the lower one, okay, this is not actually the anatomical structure. Okay, you can say it is the physiological structure, right? So what happens here? Because here this anatomical structure, why I am telling you, because it is made up of your what is that? Striated muscles. Striated muscle. Okay. So at the junction between your pharynx, okay, and what you can say, that is esophagus. Okay. Pharynx and esophagus, right? So this upper sphincter that actually produced by your cricopharyngeus muscle. Okay, due to the cricopharyngeus muscle. Okay, so this cricopharyngeus muscle, it is present at where? At the cricoid cartilage. No, that means in here you'll find the pharynx. Here is the cricoid cartilage and the cricopharyngeus muscle, right? So this cricopharyngeus muscle that actually acts as a sphincter, okay, for the upper part of the esophagus. Okay, so when means normally it is constricted over here to prevent the air entrance into the esophagus, right? During the deglutition, right? So if this cricopharyngeus muscle will not be there, then you can see whenever we are deglutating, no, at that time we cannot take the air, no, or we cannot breathe at that time. Okay, simultaneously you cannot breathe with deglutition, right? During the deglutition your breathing stops. Okay, that is due to this cricopharyngeus muscle. Okay, and that is present between the pharynx and the cricoid cartilage. Clear all of you?
Yes, sir.
Good. Then you'll find the lower esophageal sphincter. So this lower esophageal sphincter, that is actually located at the this is your gastric part, this is your esophagus. No, esophagus, right? So it is present between the gastric part of the stomach and the esophagus. Okay, that means what? This is actually present between the stomach, okay, and the esophagus, right? So this is the sphincter. Fine. So this sphincter is known as your, what is that? Your gastroesophageal sphincter, you can say. Okay. What is that? Esophageal sphincter, you can say, right? And it is present at the level of, what is that? T11 vertebra, right? And here, from here only, from this what is that? The lower sphincter only, you will find there is the formation of your gastric mucosa. Okay. Here, if you will see from the inside the microscope, you can find that the gastric mucosa that starts from this what is that? Lower sphincter. Okay. So here you cannot say it is a anatomical structure, but you can say it is a physiological, or you can say it is a functional sphincter. Okay. So what happens here? Here it you will not find any muscular part or any connective tissue inside this sphincter. Okay, it is only the physiological, means automatically it will contract once. Sorry, 1 minute. See what will happen. Actually, here you will not find any specific sphincter, but due to the acute angle that it makes, no, okay, here you will find four factors for this sphincter. Okay, what is that? First, you will find the acute angle between the cardiac part of your stomach and the esophagus. Okay, so acute ACU. First is the acute angle. Due to the acute means the esophagus, it enters into the stomach at the acute angle. No, that is one reason. Then another reason, here the wall of the intra-abdominal section, means from this 1.25 cm, okay, of this esophagus, that is actually compressed, no, when there will be a positive intra-abdominal pressure will be there. Okay, means when the intra-abdominal pressure that increases, okay, at that time what will happen? The abdominal part of the esophagus, that will be constricted. Okay, that is also one of the reason. Okay, then here you'll find prominent mucosal folds. Okay, so this prominent mucosal folds mainly at the gastroesophageal junction. Okay, that actually gives the extra support to occluding the lumen, okay, of the esophagus. Okay, that means what? Here you will find the mucosal folds at the gastric part, they are very prominent. Okay, in a circular way, if you will find they are very prominent, right? So due to this, what will happen? When any intra-abdominal pressure will increase, suddenly these mucosal folds will come close to each other, and the pathway will be obstructed or occluded, right? Then another thing you'll find that here you'll find the diaphragm, no, that diaphragm also plays a role to when what will happen? See, this is the dome of the diaphragm. This is dome of the diaphragm. No, so here you'll find the left cross of the diaphragm and you'll find the right cross of the diaphragm, right? So when the diaphragm will contract, no, at that time what will happen? This esophagus will be, what is that, constricted over here. Okay, so here what happens? Due to the acute angle, due to the what is that, positive intra-abdominal pressure, due to the mucosal folds, and due to the diaphragm. Okay, so all these factors that actually compresses the lower part of the esophagus and acting as a sphincter. Okay, but there is no anatomical structures that is responsible for the sphincter at the lower part of the esophagus. Okay, but upper part, due to the cricopharyngeus muscle, there is a muscle that actually when it contracts, it compresses the esophagus. Clear, all of you?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Then next class we'll study anatomical relation and the nerve and vessels of blood vessel and the clinical anatomy. Okay.